So here's the thing. Most Democratic and Republican voters are poor to middle class voters. And while the poors are fighting, the rich run out the door with all the money. During this pandemic, billionaires got 54% richer.
Keep it 100, I be feeling like Campbell soup over white rice, baked chicken with the skin on, yeah, Lowry's with black pepper, I'm fully seasoned with laughter.
What's good, 100%ers? It's your boy Dre, and welcome to my channel, Keep It 100 Dre. So this video is very important that you watch it in its entirety because you're not going to understand the point of the video unless you do. So what I'm going to talk about today is Joe Biden's approval rating and how it compares to other presidents in their first 100 days. So today is officially the 100th day of Joe Biden's presidency. So as of today, he has a 54% approval rating. So on its surface, that may seem really good because he's far above water, about 15 points above water. But in reality, that's not such a good thing. Joe Biden's 54% approval rating is the third lowest in 76 years. His approval rating in his first 100 days is only higher than that of Donald Trump, whose approval rating was 42%, and Gerald Ford, whose approval rating was 45%. Other than that, he has the third worst approval rating in 76 years. So there's a lot of reasons for that. Some people are critical of him because of the crisis that's going on at the border. Others are critical of him because he lied about sending out $2,000 checks and sent out only $1,400 checks. Others are critical of him because he bombed Syria before sending out the checks, which made no sense. Then more people are upset at him because he let the Senate parliamentarian decide that $15 minimum wage violated the Byrd rule when he and Kamala Harris could just overrule the Senate parliamentarian, which means that he never really wanted it in the bill in the first place, because the Senate parliamentarian literally has no power. It's just an advisor. And then other people are upset because he said if Medicare for All came to his desk, he would veto it. He's not in favor of a position that's more popular than he is. And those are all legitimate criticism. But the main reason Joe Biden's approval rating is low relative to other presidents is polarization. So the polarization in politics really started under President Obama, and Republicans drew hard lines in the sand from there. And it is mostly because of racist reasons. Fox News, instead of legitimately criticizing Obama, and there was a lot to criticize him for, they were criticizing for things like his brown suit, like this.
Take a look. There's the president. Can you guess what has people talking? It's that suit.
Fantastic.
The audacity of taupe.
Yes, we can.
This suit is not presidential.
What do you think about the brown suit, the beige suit, the tan suit?
Was it beige? Was it taupe? Was it cream? Was it khaki?
Or all of the above.
Stone?
It may be.
One of the ugliest suits in the history of America.
I think it was shocking to a lot of people.
Look at that horrible light tan suit. An impeachable offense right there.
I looked twice to make sure he wasn't a circus ringmaster. The only thing missing was the top hat.
Whoever talked him into going into a tan suit, they're so desperate because of these low poll numbers, they're willing to do anything.
A serious businessman wears dark blue or black to important meetings. I think it's a sign to enemies that he's a wimp.
This confirms he's a Marxist.
You're going to a garden wedding, the tan suit's fine. Otherwise, forget it.
That's the other thing is they say it didn't fit.
Some people saying it was too casual, not presidential, and the wrong color for the world's leader.
There's no way I think any of us can excuse what the president did yesterday. For him to walk out, I'm not trying to be trivial here, but in a light suit.
He looked like he was on his way to a party at the Hamptons. It did not show the seriousness of purpose that you need from a commander-in-chief.
This is not presidential dress.
And they would make other stupid criticisms like this one, which was pretty hilarious.
A fist bump, a pound, a terrorist fist jab. The gesture everyone seems to interpret differently. We'll show you some interesting body communication and find out what it really says. First, the President of America chest bumps an Air Force grad. Next, Michelle and Barack Obama fist bump or fist pound. People call it all sorts of things. But what happened to the old pat on the back, a handshake, a hug? Today's body language and what we can glean from it. Janine Driver is a body language expert and joins us now. Janine, thanks for being back with us.
So what Fox News could have done, instead of making criticisms like that, which was completely stupid and nonsensical, they could have made legitimate criticisms of Obama, like him turning 2 wars into 7, him dropping 26,000 bombs in brown countries overseas a year, him passing a Republican healthcare plan rather than the public option that he said he would fight for, him prosecuting more journalists than any president in history, him deporting more immigrants than any president in history, and him signing the NDAA of 2011, which allowed the government to throw anyone in jail without trial or charge as long as they could label them as a terrorist. And one thing that a lot of people don't know is if you boycott, you can be labeled an economic terrorist and you can be thrown in jail for boycotting. The government gets to define what terrorism is. And then people rightfully got mad when Donald Trump, he threw protesters in Oregon in prison without trial or charge. And they could be in prison indefinitely. People that the left and liberals were mad over that, but many of those same people were quiet when Obama signed the law. So then Donald Trump came in office and he forced everyone to pick a side because he was so divisive that you couldn't say that you're somewhere in the middle on Donald Trump. You had to say you either liked or hated Donald Trump. And I completely understood it because Donald Trump is a very divisive figure. So here's how it ties into Joe Biden's presidency today. His support is drawn almost 100% down party lines. 96% of Democrats support Joe Biden, while only 10% of Republicans support Joe Biden. And as for independents, about 58% support Joe Biden. And that polarization is very dangerous. And the reason why that polarization is very dangerous is because most Democratic and Republican voters are poor to middle class voters. And while the poors are fighting, the rich run out the door with all the money. During this pandemic, billionaires got 54% richer. So all this polarization that we have in politics today, all it really shows is the rich won. They completely won. We all know the saying, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Before the pandemic, 72% of Americans could not afford a $500 emergency. After a pandemic, when most people lost their jobs and their livelihood, that number is much worse now. The rich got richer, the poor got much poorer. So the only thing that Joe Biden's approval rating says about the state of the country today is that the rich are winning. So whether you like Joe Biden, dislike Joe Biden, whether you like Donald Trump, dislike Donald Trump, that doesn't really matter. Poor people have to unite in order to take power back. Poor people in the middle class. Because the division that's drawn is going to continually make the rich richer. Overall, Joe Biden's 54% approval rating, considering how polarized things are, is relatively okay. In the modern era, there's probably not going to be another president that goes much higher than that going forward, especially after Donald Trump. If Bernie Sanders had got elected, he'd probably be around the same numbers, maybe a little higher, maybe around 57, but it probably wouldn't even reach 60 because, like I said, these lines have been drawn. Republicans only support Republicans, Democrats only support Democrats. Independents, the numbers could be a bit higher. But overall, what the people need to do is stop looking at a person based on their party. We see party doesn't matter. Like, Democrats are very upset with Joe Manchin right now and Kyrsten Sinema, when there's many more terrible Democrats. Republicans, they get upset with Republicans who criticize Donald Trump, when there's most Republicans are very terrible. But we need to stop focusing so much on the party lines and focus on class solidarity. We need to stop focusing so much on what party these politicians are in, and we need to vote for politicians who has the best interests of those who are poor and in the middle class. That's all I gotta say for this video. If you like the content, like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the post notifications so you know when I post videos in the future, because YouTube will not show you the videos if you don't do so. But I gotta leave you with one more thing before the video is over, and that's the word of the day. The word of the day for today is polarization. Polarization is spelled P-O-L-A-R-I-Z-A-T-I-O-N. The definition of polarization is the divergence of political attitudes to ideological extremes. So now I will attempt to use polarization in a sentence. The complete polarization of American politics today is only leading to the rich becoming richer and getting more powerful, while the poor and middle class are becoming weaker and whittling away. Hopefully I use that sentence correctly. So again, if you like the content, like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the post notifications so you know when I post videos in the future, and use polarization in the comment section below in a sentence so now you watch the video to the end. Or you could tell me in what other ways that you see America being very polarized today. So again, I really appreciate you watching the video. I'm gonna send this. Peace.
Well, I've been stacking up. Nah, really that ain't accurate, cause I just spent my whole damn advance in the past couple months just to compensate for times we ain't have enough. Ooh.